Okay, recording this video after close of trade Thursday, 16th December 2010. Another update today. We closed up at 38.5, about 1.3 million contracts traded. We had very light volume over the last 4 or 5 days, just sitting up here above this end of trend warning signal here. This particular bar here is a bit spurious, the volume here. This was kind of rollover day. I kind of dispute that the volume was that light on that day, but I can't get TradeStation to change any of that. But anyway. I can't help feeling that we're kind of overreached at the moment, and that this kind of series of no demand patterns up here is going to lead to a change in trend. We've got kind of Christmas, New Year kind of coming up. I don't think there's going to be kind of any massive change over the next 10 days. But if the professionals are thinking about kind of getting reversing their portfolios and doing very different things kind of next year, now would be the time to start rolling those things over. So I don't think we're going to get a massive kind of breakdown into a downtrend, but I think that the upside's kind of limited. Let me show you what else I'm looking at in my charts. This is just kind of daily charts on a whole range of markets. This is the Emini up here. We had a whole series of no demand and profit-taking patterns up here. Ignore this Rambo pattern here. This is this day, the rollover day, where the volume was so light it actually generated a Rambo pattern here, but it was a no demand day. When you look at a whole bunch of different markets, S&P, Dow, Nasdaq, and so on. And a couple of profit-taking bars since then. Bearish divergence after a flush signal I usually like around an end of trend warning signal here. So we've had our kind of exhaustion buying volume, the final leg up. So if you like, this is the end of the third leg, fourth leg down, Elliott wave, and fifth leg up to an end of trend. Pull back to an end of trend is like a fifth wave up. And when that kind of coincides with a flush signal, they're quite similar in terms of what they're trying to show in terms of a final exhaustion leg. One is volume based and one is price based, and so when they kind of coincide, I kind of like those together. Certainly on an intraday basis I would trade something like that. And then once we get a bearish divergence after a flush signal like that, that really is an important signal for me. But it's been tough being a bear over the last year and a half. A couple of other markets. Gold, second cyclical turn after an end of trend warning signal here, often a change in trend signal. Again, same type of pattern, exhaustion buying, flush signal coming into the end of trend. We get a big sell-off in terms of volume down, and then we kind of test back up, and the testing back up above 1400 has been on very weak buying. You can see all these kind of bearish divergence patterns here are really starting to kind of roll over in terms of gold. And then this is the 30-year bond contract, and I was talking about this last time I did a video on the multi-market stuff. We've still not got our end of trend warning signal here because the markets continued to decline, but you can see again similar pattern. We've got exhaustion selling on the downside. We're going to get an end of trend warning signal here on the next couple of days, and it's coinciding with another flush signal on the downside. Copper came into these highs at 420, and we had a Rambo pattern here, exhaustion buying and so on. So again, kind of maxing out type activity here. Crude was a lot weaker in terms of this uptrend. It's been a very kind of cyclical move up as opposed to kind of a trend move with a pullback and an end of trend warning signal. But you can see on the last couple of waves up into 90, we've had flush signals here, which is just showing that we got weaker and weaker buying at this point. British pound, don't often show the British pound chart, but just the way it's kind of bounced off this support becomes resistance type pattern here. We had a little bit of a bounce today, but it's going to be really critical the next couple of days. I just feel as if we're sitting at that junction where we need really the bulls to get in and push the market significantly in order to break us out of this uptrend. Otherwise we're just going to kind of sink into a downtrend because there's just a lack of buying at these levels. Euro, same kind of thing, kind of bouncing off this cyclical level that was support, turns into resistance. We've got a little bit of bearish signal and so on. So if we start breaking the lows of yesterday, kind of below 131 on the euro, that'll be a real signal that things are heading down. And then lastly, the kind of intraday charts, 1500 tip bar chart. I'll tag on the day trades that I did today. Before this was the announcement, we had Philly Fed survey at 9 a.m. Chicago time, led to all this kind of volatility here. I took a small loss on an early trade, but then was able to get long at 12:30.25, actually around here. Kind of rode that up and took profits at 34.25, which was my profit target, just about here. And the move just continued to head higher and higher up until 39, almost 40. So, and then ended on the highs for the day. But we got on the 1500 tip bar chart, we're kind of a little bit exhausted here. And when I look at the long-term chart, tomorrow's activity is going to be kind of key. We've had, this is the second kind of sequence in this uptrend pullback, breaking into another trend, and then another pullback signal kind of confirmed this morning's trade, and then coming into an end of trend warning signal, probably setting up on Friday to Monday. And this last kind of pullback over the last 3 or 4 days, we had our exhaustion selling at this point, and so we're heading back up with professional blue bars to some kind of exhaustion pattern on the upside here. So I'd be very interested to see the next couple of days is going to be kind of critical if we start kind of topping out in a range of different markets and start losing confidence in some of these kind of related markets. We might see some weakness in the E-mini. Anyway, so there we go. Hope your trading is going well. Okay, we're just long at 32 even, and probably a little bit early, or just no professional bars yet on the 1500 tip bar chart, so I'm kind of breaking one of my rules. Icebreaker kind of trade plays against the first kind of professional bar that you see, and we're coming up to, we got kind of support on 3 different time frames. We're coming up to it on the 4500 tip bar chart, 1500 tip bar chart we've kind of printed here, and the 500 just kind of overshot it slightly. Little bit of bullish divergence here, kind of down professional bar. Not a lot in terms of kind of confirming signals here, but it seems to be running our way. So I'll hold this until I start to see a professional bar come on the 1500 tip bar chart. Okay, just a couple of minutes later, and it's kind of gone in our favor, which is kind of nice. But just want to point out this little pattern here, this little retrace. We did have a professional bar kind of coming into 33 and a quarter up here. You can see it on the 500 tip bar chart, and then as we pushed kind of highs for the day, we had a Rambo pattern, which is signaling that move is being led by the amateurs at that point. But then, as soon as we get this little pullback here, you can see another kind of whole series, 1, 2, 3 little amateur bars on this pullback, and it actually ended up being an amateur down bar on the 1500 tip bar chart. And then, as soon as we break above that, usually, a break would be a quarter point, which is what we got, but a half point would be really nice in terms of confirmation. So, to be honest, I'm actually recording this video a fraction too early, but what that is to me is that's just one of these little tells that we're in a kind of an uptrend. This kind of retrace was kind of being led by the amateurs, and so as soon as we kind of break above that, we're likely to see kind of higher highs. However, not kind of going completely to plan right now. Market's really slow. It's 9:43. I think everybody must be waiting for this Philly Fed survey at 9 a.m. But anyway, got my 2-point kind of target at 34. We've had a cyclical cross on 1500 tip bar chart that's likely to kind of come in soon. I'd like it just to kind of push quickly up to 34 and kind of get out and see what happens then. Okay, I'm just down at 31.75 for a quarter point loss. And should probably be reversing right now and going short, but this trade just wasn't working out. Kind of went within a quarter point of profit target at 34, so just looking for 2 points on this little kind of trip up here. Now it's kind of getting interesting. We're 8:53. We got this Fed survey coming out at 9. And we're coming into cyclical support, but we're just going to print another kind of professional bar down here, and my setups will go for long again, but let's wait and see. Okay, we're long at 12:30.25, and here was the release. Wish I'd jumped on board that kind of short, because we went down to below 28, but the data kind of release kind of came out, the Philly Fed numbers kind of came out and had all this volatility. My TradeStation kind of data feed was bursting, so I've just waited. This is what I'm trading off last. This push down here being led by the amateurs into a bullish divergence. We've had our exhaustion selling on the downside. The next one kind of comes into 29 and again being led by the amateurs at this point here. So had a little kind of, this is almost like, we're below cyclical support here, so in a downtrend. This is almost like a pullback and an end of trend warning signal here, but it's not kind of properly printed on the chart just because of the volatility in the numbers here. Anyway, so we're coming into a little bit of resistance at these highs here, so let's see if we can push through here. Okay, just a couple of minutes later, similar kind of things just formed at this cyclical support level on the 500 tip bar chart. Another kind of push down into these kind of 29.5 type levels. Amateur down bar here, so that's suggesting to me, this move's being led by the amateurs at that point. As soon as we get, a quarter point to a half point kind of confirmation move above the high of that amateur bar, obviously I'd like it to be taking off more than this right now. That kind of gives me some form of confidence that we're actually in an uptrend here, having exhausted the selling volume kind of down here at 28. Okay, a fair few minutes later, and here's still holding this long position. We had a nice kind of 2 points in our favor, long at 20.35 back here. Had a nice kind of 2 points in my favor. Up at 32.25, and get an exhaustion buying signal. That with if there was a blue professional bar with exhaustion buying, I would have taken profits up there. But we didn't get the blue professional bar. Instead, what we got on this retrace down here was, first of all, a little bit of a pullback, an amateur kind of down bar that got broken to the upside a little bit by a quarter point. So that for me is kind of reason to hold. Then kind of a down professional bar followed by a Rambo pattern into these lows with exhaustion selling at this point. So again, for me, that's a reason to kind of hold. That's kind of being driven by the amateurs. We've got a little bit of a run to the upside, so with exhaustion selling at this point here, I was expecting a little bit of a bounce off this resistance level that becomes support, and we kind of head to new highs. But no, we head on down. The next blue professional bar kind of comes in just below the entry point back here, and now we've got a nice little kind of series of signals on our way. We've got blue professional down bars down here, bullish divergence followed by exhaustion, a flush signal here, exhaustion selling and a flush signal back down, kind of testing these lows, and this last little kind of move down by being led by the amateurs there, little amateur down bar, and hopefully if we get this kind of broken to the upside back up to 31, we'll be on our way into an uptrend. That was kind of a gapped up bar, so that's kind of looking nice. We've come into cyclical support at 1500 tip bar chart, so that's kind of better. But again, apart from when we had this kind of data release back here with the Philly Fed survey, there were no kind of professional bars to kind of lead the way. So really on this time frame, what we're dealing with is exhaustion selling and professional buying down at these lows, and that we've just retested kind of those lows, if you like, and then hopefully heading back up again. So let's see where this goes next. Okay, a few minutes later, the market's moving really slowly today. It's already gone 10:09 Chicago time. Still holding on to this trade, and we kind of come back into resistance at 32.25. This time we lost a little bit of momentum here. We can see bearish divergence signals on better momentum, but no professional blue bars up on the 1500 tip bar chart. So the last blue professional blue bar was on this kind of dip down here, so this is quite a nice little pattern here. You got on the dip kind of professionals buying in, and then amateurs kind of getting short at this point here, and then as soon as we get a break of the high of that amateur bar, that kind of suggests that that's a little bit of a kind of no supply, and the move goes on. Plus we got a flush signal on the 500 tip bar chart, so that means that there's quite a lot of kind of selling that's gone into this last move, and really if the price kind of destruction, if you like, isn't all that extreme, we kind of bounce from that, and that's actually what's happening at the moment. So we're kind of breaking to new highs, so still holding this and hoping to hit profit target. Well, there we go, literally a minute after I just recorded that last video, just got taken out on my profit target at 34.25, so it was a 4 point gainer on that last one. So and this is more kind of a profit-taking type pattern that I like, where we get professional blue bars kind of coming into the highs here with exhaustion buying volume. So yeah, this move's kind of continuing on as I speak. But for me, when I'm in the money and I get a signal like that, I usually kind of jump out. Yes, sometimes from time to time it does kind of continue on, travel further and so on, but